Down the inside of Oriel Servia we go, and there is contact. Jesus, I think Oriel Servia just was launched. Welcome back to the Kart 2000 Championship in Automobilista 2, where we try to make Roberto Moreno a kart champion, and you notice the past tense here. Already, with 2 races to go, we have to admit defeat as we are mathematically out of the championship running, but what we can still achieve is to finish in the top 3 in the championship, just as Moreno did in real life. And the penultimate round of the season sees us leave the US for the 3rd and final time this season, as we are in Adelaide, Australia, which again is a venue that was not on the real kart championship schedule, but there very much was a street race in Australia that year at Surfers Paradise, which sadly is not in Amos 2 as of the date of me recording this. And in real life, that race at Surfers Paradise was won by our teammate Adrian Fernandez, with neither Juan Pablo Montoya, Gilles de Ferran, or in fact our balding hero Moreno finishing the race. And to be honest, today I would be happy with a top 5 finish, with a focus on finishing the race, and that is because we are starting from where Moreno started the race at Surfers Paradise, which is all the way down in 20th, the lowest starting position of our season. So now, without further ado, let's go racing at the Adelaide Street Circuit. Well, and here we are going towards the final corner, the Mistral hairpin, as we are already alongside and past Mark Blondell, so already we gained a position before even reaching the start line, as we are now going through the Senna chicane for the first time. We are using the shorter layout that the V8 supercars in Australia used from 1999 onwards, as we go past Canaan, past Gugelmin, so 3-way Brazilian battle, and we even managed to get alongside and past Alex Tagliani in the Forsyth Ford car. The next Forsyth car is just ahead of us. This time it's Brian Herter, as we're already up to P16 and almost lose it into turn 7 here on towards Bartles Road. And because we almost slid down his inside, which I didn't even want to do, Brian Herter gets a poor exit, kind of gets his car stuck on that exit curve. Very high curbs here, especially at the exit of some corners, so you really need to be careful there, because your car easily gets stuck. Well, stuck is too hard of a description of what's happening, but the car really grinds on that curb then, and you lose a lot of speed and you can't get the power down properly, as out of the final corner we come for the first of 41 times. We are using the length of the Surfers Paradise race also as a benchmark. So in real life we would have had to race 82 laps here, but we also do 50% races as always, so it's down to 41 laps. The total race distance is down the inside of Oriel Servia we go, and there is contact. Jesus, I think Oriel Servia just was launched on our head there. I have to be thankful there for the roll bar that keeps the floor of Servia's car away from our head. But that was a curious incident, and from the inside it felt like Servia turned in early, but here is a replay. So we are alongside, going... What do we make out of this? Now, from the inside it felt like Servia turned in early, as I said, but now let's look at it from my own board, and actually... did I really have a right to be there? Ooh, it was a late move. It definitely was a late move. Well, the stewards turned a blind eye on that one. Neither driver was punished, but yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of this incident, and should I have been punished? Because as I said, difficult to tell, especially if you're biased, as I am. But back to our race we go, as we are now in P14, just behind the Rahal car of Max Papis. The Italian that so popular and so quick in American open wheel racing. Well, here this season he struggled. Just one single point he scored at, I think it was Laguna Seca. And now we take him even further away from the points. And look at that. I can actually do a clean move. As we go down his inside there of the Decadville Hairpin is the name of the corner nowadays. And we gained a lot on them as D'Amata just made it past Carpentier this lap, and on towards the Brabham Straight we go. We were alongside Carpentier. Then we are late on the brakes for the hairpin. There is a bit of contact, a bit of a tap in the rear of Cristiano D'Amata from us, so again not the cleanest move, but we are past Carpentier, and well, we didn't make contact with Carpentier, we made contact with D'Amata, and he's still ahead of us, and he hasn't suffered anything from that small contact, so I guess we're still fine. And well, we were following him, as you can see we are now in the points after making it past Carpentier, so already 8 positions made up from where we started, and now we were approaching the next car again as D'Amata gained a bit on us. But now it looks like he's getting held up by someone. And actually, oh, D'Amata on the curb there. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. D'Amata grinded on the curb there. And then I sense my opportunity. I send one down his inside, and again, it is a messy move, a messy overtake. And again, we get away with it. Or I let myself get away with it. And then already we were getting closer to the first pit window. And well, it is very tight again on fuel. Could be a 1-stop, might be a 2-stop. If there is a full course yellow at the right moment, it definitely will be a 1-stop. But if it stays green throughout, which it has so far, it might get very tight on fuel and we might need to save some. Well, I was slowly getting to that realization, but I didn't want to save fuel now as we were close to the back of our teammate Adrian Fernandez, and maybe we can even get into the top 10 by the end of this lap. And there we go, good run again on the Brabham Straight into Decadville Hairpin, and we are past. And thank God, look at that, it was another clean overtake. But here now comes the realization slowly that it is time to save some fuel, and I was starting to do exactly that from now on. The target for me now is to get to at least the end of lap 20, preferably even the lap 21. There I go, I turn down the fuel, and let's see what difference that makes. Well, and immediately you see it's quite the difference that this one makes, especially on the straights. Look at how close Fernandez was there and how much time we lost compared to Jimmy Vasser and Michael Andretti ahead. Now, towards the end of lap 18, we come. This is crucial. Ahead of me, Michael Andretti, one of the first cars to come in, and I can tell you he wasn't the only car to come in. And for me, my target, well, it's pretty tight on fuel, to be honest, because 6.5 liters, this is what I was watching and calculating in my head during the race, is the amount of fuel that we burn per lap, and it will be pretty tight if we make it to lap 21. I think lap 20, this will be easy to manage, but I really want to go for lap 21, because that means we have saved that extra lap of fuel that we need, and then it will be a bit more relaxed in the second stint. And this is when I want to be able to push towards the end of that second stint with Andretti and I guess the other AI, at least those that have already pitted at the end of lap 18. I'm pretty sure it will be quite the similar situation as it was at Laguna Seca, where they all had to go for a quick splash and dash a couple of laps towards the end. And now ahead of me we see Jimmy Vasser coming in, behind me Adrian Fernandez came in, and we are gonna take the lead at the end of this lap. And this here has a lot of parallels to the race at Laguna Seca. There we were starting all the way down the order as well, but in the end we won that one. And there it also was on the brink between a 1 and a 2 stop. Well, this time I think we actually might make it with the 1 stop. Watch the fuel in the top bottom right. It's gonna be pretty tight. Pretty tight. Well, there it is. The game recommends me to pit at the end of this lap. I decide against it, though it will be pretty close to actually make it to our pit box. 5.4 liters, barely, as we cross the line, and we were already lifting quite a lot. But I think it is manageable. If we do another lap like the one before, I think we might just do it. Maybe we have to take it even a bit slower, which I'm already doing through these 90-degree corners here. Now this is crucial because we are going out of turn 7, and this is the long straight to the hairpin. We can't fully slow down. I shift up very early to try and save every ounce of fuel that is in the car. We are even lapping someone. This is Takuya Kurosawa. Well, he's looking alright. Walter Sales now ahead of us. He might need to get out of the way as well as we go out on the race course. And then into the pits we go. And I think we have even taken it a bit too slow this lap. That was very conservative, but I didn't want to run out of fuel. Yeah, not sure. Maybe it would have been smarter to just come in at the end of lap 20 and yeah, not lose as much time and just save like half a lap more in the second stint. But anyway, it is what it is now. Out we go. 20 laps to go. So we lost position. We're down in 11th again, but we only lost 1 position. Behind us, Damata comes with a lot of momentum into the Senna chicane, but we managed to stay in P11, and now we need to get the tires up to temperature and defend from Damata, because this time I want to save fuel early to not have any issues towards the end of the race, and then rather be able to push, because this is, I think, when we will have an advantage. When everybody pits, hopefully, for a bit of fuel. Ooh, but the matter is really, really close. Into the hairpin we go. He doesn't dare to dive down our inside. And I think now the tires pretty much are up to temperature. Well, and the fuel saving went quite good. I'm still on it. Because, as I said, I really want to push when they are all trying to save fuel. Because this will be when we have our advantage, as mentioned. And now, we were actually, despite saving fuel, catching up to our teammate again. But also, there was some lap traffic. And on street circuits, lap traffic can become a bit of a headache. And so it is here, as out on Bartels Road we go. We are alongside Fernandez briefly. Michel Jourdain lets us all by. I didn't want to go side by side into the right-hand king because this can only go wrong. And this is an opportunity wasted. There might have been a chance to gain 1 or 2 positions with the help of lap traffic, but well, it was not to be, at least. That is for now. And again, things got a little bit chaotic with the traffic. Now, I stopped the fuel saving, at least for a bit, as we were pretty close here on the long flat-out bit to Fernandez. It's gonna be a dive, but that is one dive, and we are past our teammate, and that actually was a clean move. Again, we can race cleanly, at least against our teammate. The next car up the road is now the Newman Haas Ford of Michael Andretti. Actually one of the candidates to finish 3rd in the championship. So he's currently in 3rd in the championship. So that is even more crucial to get past him. For the moment we rather had to worry about Fernandez as I went back into fuel saving mode. But he did make a move on us into the center chicane. And now, immediately, we are close on the Bartels Road again to a car. Again, I turn up the fuel mode. Again, it's gonna require a dive, but there is another dive. Oh, and I was actually confused there. This is Christian Fittipaldi. I'm very sorry, Michael Andretti is the car that is ahead of that next car I had, which is Jimmy Vasser. I don't actually know where Christian Fittipaldi came from, because we did battle him earlier ahead of a pit stop, because then it was Jimmy Vasser and Michael Andretti. But, well, anyway, we just passed Christian Fittipaldi. But we get a poor exit out of the final corner, and then the Brazilian gets a run on us. We don't dare to make a move into the center chicane. But then we are very close into Wakefield, or at least on the approach to Wakefield. Also, we don't dare to do anything into that corner. But what we do now is turn up the fuel. Enough saving now. It's time to push. And time to push it was, but again, not a good exit out of turn 7. So I think... oh, might this work this lap? No. This time, we're way too far back. So we have to stay behind for at least one more lap. And this time this looks much better, much closer. So can we get the move done again? Yes, we do, and back into P9 we go. But what I was realizing, even that last lap, is the temperature of our rear tires is not looking good. As soon as I started pushing, I got a lot of wheel spin out of the corners, which overheated the tires. Then again, which makes us lose traction. Our traction out of the corners is not as good anymore. I rarely, if ever, had this with the rear tires, but look at that, out of the final corner. They're almost bright yellow then. And that is really not good. And that might actually hamper our ambitions to hunt down the other drivers in this final stint and in these final 10 laps of the race. As I'll keep monitoring the temperatures, but as more as I tried to push, the more the temperatures, of course, became an issue. So again, I had to go at a slower pace than I wanted to. This time not because of fuel, but this time because of the tire temps. When I was somewhat able to get it under control, but only somewhat. And again, you see the temperatures there. I really had to take it slow on the throttle, and that even gave Fittipaldi an opportunity to get back past us again. Yeah, this was not an enjoyable experience, I can tell you, and I really thought this could go different. We really lost time to Vassar and Andretti, the next two cars ahead. And now I think pretty much all we can do is rely that we make it to the end while the others have to stop. Otherwise, I don't see us finish this race higher than 9th. But that is the only good news. We will definitely make it to the end. And there was no full course yellow, so it has stayed green throughout. So, you know, maybe they will all have to pit. And there is the first good sign of that, because there are these little micro lags or stutters I always get when there is a second round of pit stops for the AI, which is really annoying as oh no! Oh, Fernandez! Half spun us there. Now we lose the position to Fittipaldi. And that was not very nice by our teammate. I mean, we hit a couple of other drivers this race, but I always stayed very clean with Adrian, so... Dude, why? Didn't do anything to you. But, as I said, there were cars in the pits. We already gained 2 positions. We're up to P8. Out of the pits ahead of us. This is Elio Castro Neves. And here's cold tires now. Down the inside of Wakefield we go. And we gain another position. And I presume that these were not the only cars that had to pit. I think they were all hoping for that full course yellow. Well, that one didn't come. So I assume we will see more cars in the pits, or even cars running out of fuel if they gamble too much. All the saving of fuel did work for us. But now, this really is a critical race towards the end. Then again, the cars that pitted, they have an advantage now because they have fresher tires right behind us. Whereas mine, well, it's not like they are used up too bad, but the rears, they are really hard to maintain, because I got the feeling as soon as they properly overheated, it was so tough to get them back to a normal temperature. And now, as I'm really defending and racing other cars, I can't afford to take it slow, especially out of corners. We gain another position and another one. Kenny Bragg, but Kenny Bragg just dives ahead of us. They're out of the pits into the Senna chicane. Can we do the same thing as we did with Castro Neves? No, we can't, because we're just not close enough into Wakefield. So we have to wait for the long straight and hope that his tires won't be up to temperature by then. And that he does not have the confidence on the brakes that we have. This is the only thing that has gone well for us this second stint, or better than the AI for us. Well, of course, apart from the fuel mileage. The braking into Deckerville hairpin, and we're getting close to that one again. Onto the Brabham straight we go, and even into the braking zone we're alongside. And I think That is a clean move done again against the Swedish rookie, and all of a sudden we're up to P5, and the micro stutters give it away a bit. Still, Kenny Breck was not the last car to make it into the pit lane. Round the final corner, Mistral hairpin we go. Across the line we come, and then it will be 3 more laps. We're up another position, up to 4th, and there he is, Dario Franchitti out of the pits. He has been a bit of a trouble for us this season. He just stays ahead of us there, and then loses it on the curb. Half loses it on the curb there in the center chicane. This time, Dario did not become an issue for us, at least yet. But as I said, 2.5 laps now still to go. But we are on the podium, and we are on the podium on merit. If someone wants to get past us, they have to do it on track. I have enough fuel to make it, but not a good exit there. Out of turn 7. And this is crucial. Breck had a little look into the kink. And then on the hairpin, we at least have... we at least force him to go the long way. And then there is no way around. And we live to fight another day. And when we will come across the line again, it's only 2 more laps now. And now, here we go, round the penultimate corner for the penultimate time. The last corner for the penultimate time. This time it's a much better exit. So, into the center chicane where we've been passed by Fittipaldi before. No chance for Breck. We hold on to that podium position for now. And now, I would say there is only one more proper overtaking opportunity, which is Deckard will happen. Maybe if Breck feels incredibly brave, it's also an opportunity to go down our inside at the Mistral hairpin, the final corner. That one, where I just hit the wall, is the same corner where Michael Schumacher hit the wall just before he collided with Damon Hill and won his first championship in very, very controversial circumstances in 1994. Breck is close, but not close enough to make a move into the hairpin, and I think we might just hang on to it. Hold on though, because all of a sudden there is some lapped traffic in our way, and they're going incredibly slow. This is Shinji Nakano in the Walker Motorsports car, and also, oh, that is Michel Jourdain. Breck has a little look around the outside. Luckily, he doesn't find a way through. Fontana really slow out of the final corner. We make a bit of contact with him as well. All of a sudden, Castro Neves is up to 4th. Past Blundell we go, and we just hold on to 3rd after a very stressful couple of final laps. And here then are the point scorers of today. Juan Pablo Montoya wins yet again and beats Gilles de Ferran. This is very crucial in the championship, but we will come to this in a couple of seconds. We finish 3rd, which is, I think, a good result for us. Our teammates, who we were battling with for a very long time, finishes in 12th and scores the final point for today. And then, here is the Drivers' Championship, and with one race to go, when Pablo Montoya has already won the championship, he is more than 20 points ahead of Gilles de Ferran, and this is all he needs because the race win is worth 20 points. So whatever he does at Fontana, he will be the 2000 car champion. The actual champion, Gilles de Ferran, only finishes second, but we also know this because he can't be caught by Helio Castroneves either, who is in P3. But the battle for P3, this one is incredibly exciting, and this is also now our target after we can't win the championship anymore, because Helio Castroneves 81 points, Michael Andretti 78, Kenny Brack 77, and then ourselves, Roberto Moreno, in 6th with 76 points. We all can still finish in 3rd. Just 5 points between P3 and P6 in the championship. So this will be a very, very exciting championship finale in 2 weeks' time at Fontana. And here then are the Nations and Engine Cups, and well, theoretically, if no Brazilian finishes in the points, and Juan Pablo Montoya wins the season finale as well, in theory then Colombia could still beat Brazil. Realistically though, I think Brazil has got this one in the bag with half the field being Brazilian, and well, all they need is a Brazilian in at least P12. I think that might just be doable. Well then, the Engine Cup. This is super, super exciting because going into the final round of the championship, it is a tie between Ford and Toyota. Both are on 150 points, both with the exact same number of wins. So, whoever finishes higher between Ford and Toyota will win the Engine Cup. Honda is already out of the running, but not too far away. And, well, Mercedes, they very much are far away. This is a bit of an embarrassment. And with all that, I think we will see a very, very exciting season finale in 2 weeks. I already told you, California Speedway, Fontana, the 4th and final oval race of the season and the fastest oval race of the season. We might see speeds getting very close, maybe even exceeding the 400 kph mark. Subscribe to not miss that. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video, and I hope to see you all the next time. Until then, goodbye.